Dun, 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 dun.
Evil Intent, indeed. That is a very on-point title for this film. Marvista chose it very wisely. You know, it's unfortunate, but we do live in an imperfect world with many faults, right? We're not in heaven yet, so unfortunately tragedy is a mainstay here, right? Tragedy sucks. It's horrible. It's sad. We all get to deal with it in life in some fashion. But unfortunately for this family, we're going to get to see how their tragedy lives out today. But this is really sad for them, because I was reading the synopsis, and the tragedy that they're enduring certainly sounds sad. But in their search to dig themselves out of said tragedy and find some semblance of, you know, whatever you want to call it, normalcy, hope, revelation, whatever, they're trying to relieve themselves of the sadness and what they're going through, but they only get to dig themselves out to find a greater nightmare. Horrible for them, and horrible for real life, but great for us thriller fans. This makes for a perfect thriller, and, you know, of course, thrillers are great at teaching us lessons, particularly for going through other people's misery. Your tragedy makes for our betterment. That sounds so horrible, but again, that's a truth in thrillers out there. But as we're going to see in this situation, when you need to find an available caregiver for your family, do yourself a favor, be safe, don't be sorry, operate like all the other major corporations out there in America, and run a background check. And you want to make sure you do that at first. You don't want to do that later on down the line, because you might regret it. If you can't vet who you have initially, you could end up with somebody like Gwen. I don't think anyone would want a caregiver or nurse like Gwen, because unfortunately, as this family is going to find out, they've hired a psycho nurse. Ooh, sounds really bad. There's a lot of thrillers out there that feature psychotic characters. Not many I've seen, though, that feature nurses. This is a first for me. But some do come to mind. A few films that actually have a unique parallel to this one. They're not the same, but they're slightly similar. I'm thinking of other films out there where someone in that parental position, whether it be a mother or father, the examples I'm thinking of are mothers, or in this case, but where a parent becomes a little too obsessive with care, and it's like they don't want to let their child go, and that kind of puts them into the mind of, what do you call it? I was going to say psychosis. I'm not trying to diagnose this person, but clearly it knocks them off their rocker a bit. They turn a bit cray-cray. But the films I was thinking of that came to mind were other films like Mommy Would Never Hurt You, or the currently unreleased, which I want it released so bad because the trailer looked great, Run with Sarah Paulson. Why isn't that film out yet? It's driving me crazy. I don't think it's even dated. Okay. But again, films that are slightly similar. Not the same, but the obsessive caregiver psycho part of it sounds a bit similar to this. It rang a bell. Or perhaps maybe that's not the direction this is going. Again, the synopsis isn't entirely clear. I guess the trailer will clarify it a bit more. But maybe Gwen's motives are not the result of insanity or madness or that parental obsession. Maybe this is a more premeditated scheme to get into the family for some nefarious reason. Who knows what that might be. But sounds very interesting for a thriller. Just throwing out, again, possible story ventures. It could really go anywhere. But as far as we know, you have a nurse who invades a family. She's not exactly in the most stable of mental conditions, or maybe she's just not the best caregiver to hire. But either way, she takes advantage of a very sad situation, and all goes downhill from there. Right? Perfect for a thriller. That's right along the lines of what your traditional Marvista thrillers tend to operate like. And that's kind of, you know, as direct as the IMDb synopsis puts this. A young couple, Mira, played by Abbie Cobb, and Todd, Sean Faris, hire a live-in nurse, played by Lyndon Smith, to be the caregiver of their sick son, only to discover that she is an angel of death, intent on replacing Mira through any means necessary. I love that one part. I love how they quoted an angel of death. That sounds so bad, but an angel of death that wants to take Mama's place. How sad indeed. But how fascinating. So let's take a look at this crafty thriller from the sounds of it. Again, some parts seem a bit traditional. Again, something that would be akin to Marvista Entertainment to do, but I'm always interested to see what their entertainment is like, because quite frankly, some of these are they have pretty interesting premises. Alright, as always, we're going to watch this first, and we're going to talk about it more in my condensed review segment post watching the video together. Okay, Evil Intent, aka Psycho Nurse. Here we go.
Mira, would you mind telling us your story?
Our son was diagnosed this year with muscular dystrophy. Morning, Mom, Dad.
Aw.
You're supposed to call down for help.
Let him gain some independence. It's good for him.
My husband and I, we have our own live-in nurse.
Christine!
Oh, buddy.
Do you think she's the right person for the job?
Oh yeah, she's a total professional.
Is that Gwen?
You got some new design?
I do.
I can take care of this.
Thanks, baby.
Oh no.
I put Max down. He was wiped.
Okay.
I'm kind of sensing where this is going.
Why don't you let me make dinner tonight? It's the least I can do.
Hello?
Hi, Mira. Welcome to the community. Your group counselor gave me your information.
I connected with another parent that's in the program I'm in. It helped so much.
I know I just met you, but I can already tell from your post that you're a great mother.
And if you ever doubt that, I'll always be here to remind you.
Good night, David.
Good night, Mira.
What a scheme.
Is Mira downstairs?
She's talking to some guy.
What guy?
Her online chat friend.
Uh-oh.
Babe?
I'm getting worried about you. It's finally time you saw a doctor.
Why don't you let me take your blood?
You can do that?
Yeah, I'm a registered nurse.
It might be a good idea to get a second opinion.
Have you been drinking?
A few beers.
I want you to have what Todd and I have someday.
Oh, jealousy kills.
Someday very soon.
Oh, jeez.
Mom?
I'm here, honey.
And he's like, you're not mommy.
She's been drugging me for weeks.
See?
Why are you doing this?
Jealousy is a horrible drug.
I don't want to do this to Max. Take his mother from him.
I would sacrifice anything for my family.
But they're not your family. Yeah, she's lost it. You know, I would expect nurses to be a bit more careful when they're dealing with certain situations like this. Clearly, he's a married man. There's like how many ever thousands of men out there? I'm sure there's some other good-looking guy out there for you. You really might have to think about, like, I don't know. Like, again, the jealousy thing is a common theme in these, like, sort of jealous love stories where, like, oh, I'm just guessing this isn't going to work out for her, and then she's probably going to go after him. I have no idea. She goes after the guy's wife. I thought it's interesting that she's drugging her. Like, that's really, if you're having to go to that extent to get the idealistic life that you want, it's going a bit too far. I was definitely right in the beginning when I said that I was getting a real familiar vibe with past Marvista Entertainment. I didn't realize how on point it would be, though, with that. Because I'm looking at the film and I'm like, these sort of thriller stories you have with what I would call a deadly romance. This is not what you... Right? This would be horrible to do in real life. Like, if you find yourself in a situation where you're so obsessed with somebody and you're like, oh, they're so pretty, just talk yourself out of the job. And, you know, in all honesty, I would expect some doctor or some policy person to be out there like, if you're finding yourself in this position, this overrides this policy and that policy of working as a home caregiver nurse. Like, you're not supposed to fall for the people you're working for in a romantic sense. And she's really not keeping it subtle. I mean, that dress that she has on, good grief. Like, motives are very clear. I wonder what it is about these Marvista guys, though. There was another film that did this on there at 2, I'm thinking. I can't remember. Fatal Beauty was one. I don't remember the name of the other one. It was another, like, love revenge story. Wish I could remember the title. I'll have the poster pulled up so I can provide that example. It's not hitting me on the top of the head right now. But these guys really don't resist too much. They're just kind of like, well, it's the fault of the circumstance, she's in love with me, whatever. I guess it's just gonna happen. Like, put up your guard a little more. Jeez. Like, are these marriages that you're currently in, like, nothing to you? That's really sad. What I will say, too, the girl that plays his wife, the blonde, she looks really familiar, and I don't know why. What's her name again? Abbie Cobb. Oh, she was in the movie. I remember her. She was in Mom's Night Out. I'm like, why do you have such a familiar face? I thought for a minute, like, was she the leading lady in that film? No, she was one of the supporting characters. I'm trying to remember. It's been a while since I've seen the film. That's such a funny movie. No wonder I recognized her. It just kind of got that vibe, but I don't know. I really liked her in that film. I'm sure she'd be great here. some of the where it could go on the whole romantic venture, I'll read some content reviews to know what I can expect. I mean, I don't know. I don't want it to go too far. It's a TV film, though, so I would assume that they don't really go too far over the line in that department. But the psycho nurse thing is interesting. I do like darker romance stories in some fashion, just unless it goes completely over the top where it doesn't need to. But the idea, I don't know, I find it kind of interesting. It's, again, another one of those familiar Marvista stories that has a guy at the center of it or some crazy person, and it's always around relationship drama. But the nurse angle is actually pretty unique. I did think it was weird, though, on the one part where she was saying about, like, getting the guy's wife's blood. That was weird. I still don't understand that one. That'd be interesting to find out where that goes. But again, if you find yourself going to the extent in real life of being obsessed with a guy who's married and then drugging the wife, something should be hitting you in the head like, this is bad. I shouldn't go that far. Unfortunately, this live-in nurse, what's her character name? Gwen. Oh yeah, Gwen. She has no boundaries. So this is going to be really interesting to see how this goes down. But I would be interested in giving this a look. What do you guys think about Psycho Nurse or Evil Intent? Yes, certainly evil intentions. My word. It looks interesting. I'll probably give it a go at some point. We'll see. But I don't know. This could be another one of those Marvista movies as well. You know, the ending, as always, of Marvista. I'm trying to ignore it at this point, but the endings of their trailers, I've said this before, they always get a bit spoilery. It's kind of like, oh, you're watching the movie, but then you're watching it in 3 minutes. It's just kind of pointless. But I'll still give it a go anyway. But what do you guys think about the trailer? I'd love to hear in the comment section down below. Don't forget all the good stuff, like, subscribing that bell, and until our next Marvista movie, because it seems like there's no end to these. they're primarily all thrillers. Some quite good, though. At least there's a couple more I'm looking at tonight that have a very interesting angle to them. But until we look at those trailers together for the first time, or whatever movie we get to watch together first, I will see you guys at that point. But until then, thanks for watching this video. I love you guys. Don't forget to leave yourselves to your fellow man. God bless, and peace.